This is the first thing that publicists and marketers have to know, because if you don't catch attention of your customers, then all the other processes, you cannot make them understand your message, that you cannot make them feel your message. So the first real goal is to distinguish what you want to say in between thousands of stimuli which are in the surroundings. So this is the first thing. The other thing is orientation. We have to orient the attention. We just said that we have to have our cortex aroused. Then we have to filter out all the information. And the third thing, which is related to attention, is orientation. You have to orient your attention to what I'm saying in order to understand what I'm speaking. So orientation has to do mostly with the frontal cortex. With this red cortex that you see there, there are very tight pathways between the thalamus and the frontal lobes, which has been described. So the frontal lobes have to do also with orientation of the stimuli. Stimulus have some hierarchies. So we will catch, our attention will be catched first thing with life-threatening situations. Like if at this precise moment there's a bombing, we hear a bomb outside of the door, everyone in this room will orient its attention to that precise thing. So anything that is life-threatening to us will catch more our attention, see? If we are in a manifestation and this happens, I'm sure that each one of us will just orient our attention to this. The second thing in hierarchy which catches attention is everything related to species conservation. Like this, sex. So the second thing that will attract our attention has everything related to these specific things, which are very universal. And then comes the third thing in hierarchical form. The third thing is related to personal needs or interests. What does it mean? It means like suddenly this woman, which is pregnant, goes out on the streets, and suddenly she starts seeing many carriages, many babies. So it seems like the world has changed for her at this precise moment. And so she goes out, and all her attention, all the orientation of her attention will be to something like this. What do you think this guy will orient his attention to? Well, of course, he will probably be orienting his attention to something like this. Well, everything what I'm saying is happening in this marvelous machine, which is the brain. And if we cut the brain and we look inside, what do we see? We see that everything that you see here in blue is the cerebral cortex, is the cortex, is the gray matter. It's where all the neurons are. And this is the white matter. They're just connections. There's only axons and white matter. And if we look at the cortex in the microscope, we see these neurons here, which are very interesting. These are the pyramidal cells, which are laid in the 5th or 6th cortical layer of the cortex. And they have a specific form. They have a synapsis, a very long synaptic to the top of the cortex. So these are the dipoles. They produce an electromagnetic field. And the oscillation of these electromagnetic fields is what we, inserting electrodes or putting electrodes on top of the skull, is what we are recording, what we are measuring. And they have electricity. This electricity is the EEG. So by looking at the EEG, and we have just said that reticular formation arouses the cortex, so there's a very simple way of measuring attention to produce products for neuromarketing.